All right, today I'm just going to give you a little bit of helpful advice for those of you who have never built a kit car before. Some of the very basic tools you're going to use, and let me show you those real quick. A hammer. You never know when you have to put the lower control arms in or the upper control arms, or maybe the shocks, and they just don't fit in there with the fingers. So a good hammer is always nice to have. This is a 16 ounce. A good cat claw, you know, when things don't line up properly, you might need some good mechanical leverage to move things around. You know, you're gonna need one of those. Then an air gun. This is a combination brad nailer and staple gun. For any missing screws, nuts, or bolts that might be missing, this will definitely come in handy. Some sort of saw. This happens to be an air saw. You can get different blades for it. It can be a jigsaw, saber saw, sawzall, it doesn't matter. Chop saw. You know, when you have to cut those little parts from the parts tree, that definitely makes life easy. And a precision 12-inch adjustable wrench. That way you can really fine-tune everything, all the little nuts and bolts and the hardware that you can't quite do with your fingers, so you need a good wrench. No, I'm just kidding. What you really need is perhaps a precision screwdriver. You know, this doesn't produce a lot of torque or anything, but it's a little electric screwdriver. This is called a wow stick, for those of you who are curious. Rechargeable battery port in there, and it comes with a bunch of bits right here. You don't get this block of wood. You have to make your own block of wood to organize the bits. It does come with a bit organizer, but I didn't like it. I like this much better. And maybe a handheld precision screwdriver. Maybe some jewelry pliers. These happen to be well used, and a razor blade to cut the parts from the parts tree. And this one here hasn't been used in a while, but yeah, a good assortment of different bits for the different assortment of screws. Just because it's a Phillips, you know, a lot of people strip out Phillips screws or slotted screws or Torx screws because they're not using the right bit. You have to get the right bit for the right screw. And a good bit, you should be able to stick the bit in the screw, then the screw will stick to it without it being magnetized, right? It should stick to it, holding it upside down. Then you know you have a good bit. Even a Phillips, that will not work with one of these slotted. But every other bit, that should work just fine. But that's what you should use for basic tools if you've never built a kit before.